Hi, so today I wanted to talk about one of the movies that we did in review, or not in review, in the class, which is The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And the reason I wanted to talk about this movie today was because this movie was so fascinating to me and I found so many great things in the movie that I could really relate to. It was just such a great film and it really made me think, and I love films that make me think and make me interested in analyzing them. So here we go. So the beginning of the film, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you can really see that this film is going to be complicated. You're not quite sure who the character is, you don't understand where you are, what's really happening, but you're with this character, you're with this guy. And as this movie progresses, you see Clementine, you meet Clementine, and you get to know her, and you can see that although the scene starts out kind of at the end of the story, that they had a past, even though they act like they didn't know each other. And it goes on with the whole erasing each other because it was too painful to remember each other. The interesting thing about this whole erasing people from our memories is that it's what enables history to be repeated. I mean, if we were to never talk about some great historical catastrophe like the Holocaust, let's say, just a drastic example. If we were to ignore that thing to have happened, if we were to brush it under the rug and acted like it never happened, and in fact not to just act, to believe that it never happened, it will happen again. I mean, genocide or things like that, when you do not recognize these events, they will happen again. History will repeat itself. And the way that we make sure that history will not repeat itself is to remember these things. Even at like a small scale, if we were to talk about when you're a kid and you touch stove because you don't know any better, so you touch the stove and it burns your hand, well, you're not going to touch the stove again because it hurts, it's painful, so you don't go back. And even though you wish you could forget, you wish you could take back that you touched that stove, you're going to deal with the fact that you touched that stove. You might have a burn on your hand and it might stay there for a few days, but you're going to have to deal with that because that's your lesson. That's what you get when you do something like that. And I think that when you forget a relationship such as Joel's and Clementine's, you make it so that they will go basically through the same shit again. They are at the beginning of when they met each other. Basically, they're back at square one. So of course they're going to initially want to be together because they're so attracted to each other, and that's why they were together in the first place. And obviously it's going to end up in the same shithole that it ended up being at the as you watch the movie. I just think that as you watch this movie, you can see that the main theme is that history repeats itself, and it is significant to not forget wrongdoings, even though it is painful, even though we do not want to remember certain things. Hell, there's so many things I wish I could forget in my life. But it's important to remember these bad things, because that's how we learn and that's how we progress. And this movie makes a great point in this whole crazy, turvy way that we need to remember these past events. And that's what I got from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.